How's it going, guys? Skoks, Chicago Blackhawks Central. Going to recap the last two games here. I was out of town, so I wasn't able to cover last week, but we're back now, and some very, very ugly games. Not back-to-back days, but back-to-back games. Right, 6-2 loss in both matchups against the Canucks and Kraken last night on Tuesday night. Not not good. Very ugly, and we'll get into the numbers. We'll get into stats, lineup, and we'll go from there. Let me roll the intro. Yeah, so let me bring up the lineup from the most recent game against the Kraken last night on Tuesday, so we can have that on screen. But I do not have the lineup from the first game against the Canucks. Would have to go back. Let me see. Uh, not not pretty at all, right? Just looking at the final score, uh, goaltending has had a rough time. Guys are out of position. The other team has wide open shots. Just not pretty at all. Let me go back to the lineup against the Canucks so we could have an eye on that. Yeah, so the Canucks game, we had Doc, Bedard, and Nazar, which I like to see the young guys paired up together. Thought they had some good flashes, but not consistent enough right now. But I would have been fine just keeping them together, and I know a lot of people feel the same way. They keep on rotating, right? Donato, Slager, Mikheyev, even just a bunch of weirdness. Dickinson, even on that first line as well. But the second line had Tavo, Donato, Mikheyev, Slager, Dickinson, Foligno, Reichel, Volino, Bertuzzi, and am I crazy? But I don't think Joe Volino played against the Kraken. If anyone noticed that, I'll bring up the lineup in a few minutes, but I don't think he played last night. I completely forgot about him, and I don't think he played. That's weird, but we'll go through that. Yeah, the decor of Vlasic, Levshinov, Kaiser, Murphy, Martinez, Crevier for that Canucks game, and Soderblom in net. Um, Artie, Le- Levshinov had a great debut. I believe that was against the Avs, right? The Colorado Avalanche. Great game. Very, very confident. Uh, not, not the same performance against the Sharks the second game, but I still think that he's played well. His first four games up here in the NHL. He's looked great skating, moving the puck. A bit off at times when getting back in the D zone, but that's going to happen. He just got here, so not going crazy over that. But I think he's played very, very well. And I love what I'm seeing from Levshinov so far, his first four games. Let's go over the numbers. If I could bring it up here. So I'll leave the lineup on the screen and I'll run through the numbers on the Hawks and Canucks game. Let me kill this music here. Let's see here. Yeah, 6-2 final. Pedersen first started game, 1 goal, 1 assist. Pius Suter, Hawks legend, 1 goal, 1 assist, and Nils Hoglander, 2 assists for the third start of the game. The numbers were a bit more even. 19 shots for the Hawks, 15 for Canucks, 25 hits. Us, 29 hits for the Canucks, and penalty minutes have been all over the place with these game misconducts and just craziness here with Bedard and the refs. Not going to get into it too much, but it's just weird, man. 26 minutes for the Hawks in the box and 28 for the Canucks. Faceoff percentage has been up 60.5% for the Hawks and 39.5% for the Canucks. So cool to see that as well. Let's see here. Let's go over the scoring. First period, about 3 minutes left. Quinn Hughes just carries it in from Pedersen and Hronek, and he puts it top shelf past Soderblom. Tyler Myers also scores on the rush about a minute later. Levshinov sort of backed off and gave him a good look at the net. Um, don't know what the right choice was to make there. But Myers picked the pocket and he puts the Canucks up to zip. Going into the second period, Connor Garland scores 8 minutes in. Alex Vlasic, he scores his fourth goal of the season from Tavo and Donato. About a minute left in that second period, so not a whole ton of offensive output against the Canucks. Pedersen, he gets on the board. Third period, 4 minutes in. Wyatt Kaiser, great play from Levshinov during a Canucks change, gets it to Kaiser. He sneaks in the zone and snipes one past, I believe, Silovs in net for the Canucks. Nils Amon, he scores 9 minutes in. Pew Suter, once again, hit for his 18th goal on the season. He scores like 8 seconds later. Just ugly. Defensive breakdowns. Not like individually, the defensemen have not been terrible, but as a unit, the structure has not been there, and you can see the difference with Luke Richardson and Sorensen, and we expected that, right? A bit of a change in structure and like strategy, but yeah, has not been tight at all. It's been pretty sloppy on the back end. That's pretty much it from the Canucks game. Not a whole ton. Just very weird. And Bedard gets that 10-minute misconduct at the end of the game. Just weird. The refs have been questionable lately with all the stories about Bedard and, the chirping back and forth about calls. And that's going to happen, man. This is the NHL. Everyone does it. And I'm not surprised about the refs getting like salty, right? So let's move on to the Kraken game. Let me pull up the lineup so that we'll have an eye on that. Just give me one sec. And I do believe Nazar Bedard was on the wing for this last game. And was it Donato on the first line? Let's see here. Yeah, so Donato, Nazar, Bedard on the wing. And I'm fine with Bedard or Nazar at center. I don't see a big difference, even though they've been trying out different things. I don't see a big difference in that line when he's on the wing or the center because he just pretty much goes everywhere. So he's not stuck to his side at all. But the first line, Donato, Nazar, Bedard, Tavo, Dickinson, Mikheyev. Mikheyev's been one of the best players as of late. Scoring goals, assists. He's driving the play, getting in the zone quick. He's flying out there recently, and you love to see it. Good on him. Slaggert, Foligno, Doc as the third line. And fourth line, don't love it at all. So Joe Foligno was not in the lineup for last night. I completely forgot. Reichel centering Bertuzzi and Maroon. Maroon just does not have it. Even though he fought at the beginning of the game at puck drop, it's whatever. All right. Vlasic, Levshinov, Domasho, Murphy, Kaiser, Martinez. I liked the pairings. I think Kaiser's played well. Domasho's played well. Vlasic and Levshinov. Connor Murphy at times looked fine. Martinez, I'm not a fan of him at all, and I know I've brought that up a while ago, but I don't see a whole ton of positive in his game. And I believe Vlasic talks high of him, but I just don't see a ton on the ice. So would like to see some more out of some certain guys, right? Just in structure, right? Just being more sound in front of the net, protecting the crease. But let's look at 3 stars of the game. Larson, he had a nice snipe, 1 goal, 2 assists. That's crazy. Shane Wright with 2 goals. Very funny. Matt Beniers, 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist on the night for the 3rd star of the game. And once again, at the dot, Hawks were plus 60%, 61.1% at the dot against the Kraken with 38.9%. Shots were 29-30 for the Hawks at 29. Hits 17, 16, 17 for the Hawks. Penalty minutes even at 7. But Hawks had the momentum first period. One of the better first periods of the season. We were leading 2-zip, right? Bedard, awesome shot on the power play from Levchinov for his second assist, second point. That was about 4 minutes into the game. Bertuzzi gets a deflection goal. We're up 2-zip, and then Larson gets that shot, makes it 2-1 going into the second period. But then it's all cracking from there. Hawks did not get a whole ton of high danger stuff. 29 total shots, but just didn't see a whole lot going our way. We got outskated. Just every team seems to set up plays, get into the zone, just so much smoother, so much cleaner. Whether that's like more talent or if they're just being more patient. It just seems like we rush plays and throw the puck somewhere and ends up going the other way. But Eberle scores, McCann, Beniers, Shane Wright gets the last 2 goals. In the third period, only had the one Shane Wright goal 6 minutes in. Just ugly, sloppy in front of Spencer Knight. There were some shots that he probably could have had a little bit effort on, but he's had some pretty tough angles the last few starts with the defensive structure in front of him. He's been in some weird situations and not going to go crazy over his performance, but would like to see 1 or 2 more saves on those efforts there, right? Just to get in front of the deficiency of the structure. It's definitely not helping him out right now. And yeah, goalies are giving up a ton of goals right now. So not surprised there, but do believe that there were something else I was supposed to bring up here. Awesome shift from the Bedard, Nazar, and Donato line early in the game. Bunch of cycling going on, some really nice opportunities at the net, but could not put it past. I believe who was in that? Was that Joey Decord? I don't think it was. If anyone else has the goalie in net for the Kraken, I don't remember who was in net. Yeah, it was Joey Decord. All right. Yeah, so crazy how we only scored 2 goals on Joey Decord. From Scott Powers, Blackhawks might as well call up Korchinski and see what he looks like with this group. It can't be any worse than these last few games. I agree. Give Korchinski some time here to finish the season. See how he's progressed and what his future might be here very, very soon. Because I think there's been some swirlings going around, some fan talk. Korchinski's future with the Hawks is a little cloudy right now. It wasn't as clear as before, right? So we'll see how that shakes out. From Ben Pope, first time the Blackhawks have allowed 6+ goals in consecutive games since March 2021, 6th time this century. Not good. No bueno. It's very, very ugly. Yeah, that's pretty much all from last night as well from Darren Drager. The top 50 NHL draft prospects will be on hand in LA in June when the NHL hosts its decentralized draft. Originally, NHL clubs voted 26-6 in favor of decentralizing. However, some GMs believe there's a chance the league goes back to the full-scale draft down the road, which I like. Everyone in person making the picks. I think that's unique for the NHL, and yeah, I think we should just stick with it. So it pretty much wraps up the rest. Hawks are back tomorrow night against the LA Kings, which are, pushing for the playoffs here. And if I could find the time on that game, let me pull it up really quick for us. Let's see here. On Thursday night, I believe it was 7:30. So 7:30 p.m. on Thursday. Tomorrow night, ESPN Plus as well. CHSN. Yeah, so we will be tuned in for that as well. Hawks and Kings Thursday night, 7:30. We'll see you then. Let's go Hawks.